Right now, I want to distinguish between Irfan or Islamic mysticism and Sufism, tasawwuf. There is a very controversial topic among scholars, Islamic scholars. Some of them believe that these two sciences are in reality one. Tasawwuf or Sufism is the same as Irfan or Islamic mysticism. But another group of scholars disagree, and they say that these are two separate sciences. As long as I've studied, especially because of these two reasons, I believe in separation of these two from each other. As you see, I can consider Sufism as a social sect or social organizations, and Irfan as an Islamic science. So the realm of these two are totally different. Probably there are some common fields between these two. Yes, for example, when we study the works of Sufis and the works of Urafa, we understand that the goal, the ultimate goal that they express is somehow the same. They say both of them claim that we want to achieve a perfection, we want to achieve proximity to God. So the goal probably one or close to each other, if not the same but close. Yet these are totally different realms, and the reality of these two are different. And the second point is another difference that we can find in this regard. Look, some of the Sufis, when we study their behaviors and acts and actions, in some cases they act not in accordance with Islamic rules and regulations. Some of them claim that in some specific stage we are no longer in need to Sharia, something that we disagree. But when we study Irfan or Islamic mysticism, we believe that all rules and regulations should come and have and must come from Islamic authentic sources, whether the verses of the Holy Quran or authentic Islamic narrations. So this is another important point in this regard. Right now I want to explain the definition of philosophy, because it is a very vast ocean, but because of the relationship that it has with Irfan. And one important point that sometimes probably would be the source of many mistakes. For the same reason, I want to explain the meaning of philosophy and the relationship between philosophy and Irfan. As you see, philosophy is the sort of rational or intellectual knowledge in which the characteristics of the existent per se are discussed. Okay, through philosophy we want to understand everything. Through philosophy we want to understand existence, any sort of existence, whether existence of God, existence of creatures, and relationship between the existence of God and anything other than God. And also this is going to be through rational and intellectual methods. We use even logic in order to gain the knowledge of philosophy. Why I said this is very important, even though our topic is Irfan, it's important to start with philosophy. As you remember, the first page of our discussion was about the way of gaining the knowledge of Irfan. And we said we're going to gain it through interior intuition and inner witness, and not through intellect. This could be one source of problem. Why? Because when you omit intellect, there is possibility of mistakes. Okay? So as our great scholars have this advice, first of all, even though we want to study Irfan, we should start with philosophy. Why? Through philosophy, we're going to have appropriate intellectual demonstrations, rational reasoning, and we're going to understand existence through reason. Later, when we start whether theoretical or practical mysticism or Irfan, we're not going to face any sort of problem. This is the reason that, first of all, I explained philosophy, and secondly, we should start with philosophy and reason and intellect. Otherwise, we're not going to achieve anything. Sometimes we're going to go in the way of Satan instead of the way of God. Right now, even though you know the importance and benefits of Irfan, I would like to mention some of the most important benefits of this science. First of all, knowing God, His attributes, and His manifestations. Through Irfan, we're going to know God better than before. His attributes, reality of the attributes of God, and manifestations of God, which is everything. Everything is manifestation of God. There is one mistake about Wahdatul Wujud. Some people think that when Urafa say that the existence is one, it means that everything is God. No, this is mistake. So when we study the statements of them, we understand that they mean everything has come from the same source, which means, if we want to express it in English, these are manifestations of God. These are signs of God. And we can find the same theme, the same concept in the narrations of our Prophet Muhammad and our Imams. So later I will explain more with good examples. The second benefit of philosophy and Irfan is to understand and to realize better the origin and the return, al-mabda wal-ma'ad lil-insan. This is the second benefit of understanding the philosophy and Irfan. Obtaining knowledge of realities of the world and the way of their return to the one single truth, which is God. This is a very important point, and I'm going to explain and bring some instances and examples from the Holy Quran that we don't know. We ignore the realities of the world in many cases.